Ryan,
I'm Christine.
and we just wanted to come on here and kind of,
Introduce ourselves.
who we are and what we're about, and how um, music is a big, huge thing in our lives. And yeah,
Where metal kind of came about for us, I guess.
I basically, long story short, grew up listening to metal only. My dad was a huge hair band guy. He was into um, AC/DC, Metallica, Scorpions, Boston, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, all that stuff. That's all I listened to as a kid. Metallica was my favorite band. I was hardcore Metallica fan, and this is 80s and 90s. How about you? How were you in the 90s? Because you were born in the 90s.
1990, yeah. I grew up listening to all kinds of stuff. My mom was also into similar bands. You know more of her favorite bands than I do, I think.
Rats and White. There's so many hair metal bands,
Yeah.
Poison, and all that stuff.
Yeah, but like lots of rap. Like I grew up on hip hop and stuff too. And then
Who did you like for hip hop? Like, what was your
Oh God,
E40?
no, that was later.
Oh,
No, I grew up listening to like Tupac, Biggie,
okay.
Eminem. Anyways, but like metal really came into my life when I was like 12, I would say. So my mom had a
2002.
friend, yeah, who really liked stuff like that, and I made a friend in middle school that was super into like Slipknot. So I feel like when I think back, it was Slipknot for me that really like got me into heavier stuff. Like I was like, oh yeah, like this is great. Like I want heavier. I always wanted heavier though, and I never really found it. Like As I Lay Dying.
Well, yeah. So then I went into like the 2000s, early 2000s,
Yeah.
and so I went from straight like Metallica, hair metal bands, and then I found Killswitch Engage and As I Lay Dying, and that at first I was like, oh, screaming, but it quickly grew on me because of the lyrics I read, and it slowly just kind of sucked me in, and so I got into As I Lay Dying, became a huge As I Lay Dying fan, sucked into them hardcore, like pretty bad, and then so around that time, that's what I was listening to, and you were listening to.
I was listening to Slipknot, Korn, Disturbed.
Yes, I listened to all those
Roach,
too. Yeah.
The Used.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And then I kind of like fell away from it because I was dating someone who was super into like reggae, and we were like huge stoners for a while, and he just didn't listen to that, and I didn't know really like how to find heavier stuff. I don't know. I can't explain it. I was in a different mindset world, so yeah.
Well, yeah, and so I was always looking for music, constantly just, I love music so, like metal so much, and I was constantly just, trying to find bands, and then I came across a band that really like swept me off my feet, and that was Trivium. Oh my God, I was obsessed with Trivium. I was like head like over heels, like just obsessed with Trivium. I loved them to death, and then time went on a little bit, and then I found Parkway Drive, and oh my God, Parkway Drive just even more like I just listened to all their songs, all their albums, their lyrics.
Yeah, when did you start listening to Parkway? Like at what album did you come into it?
It was Not Killing with a Smile. It was Deep Blue was the first. Actually, first I heard Boneyards. I heard that song first. I was like, wow, this is sick. And then I listened to Deep Blue, and it was Alone, that song.
But they had Deep Blue was out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it just came out. And so I was listening to Deep Blue, and then I started going back. and then Horizons. I just started listening to all the bands, and then all the albums they came out with, and then whenever they released a new album, I was there. Like as soon as it happened, I listened to it. Obsessed with Parkway Drive, obsessed. And then I was finding other bands too, Architects. So many bands. Trying to find heavy stuff, and found Era. Found all these different bands, and then I met. I in relationships, always trying to find someone that loved metal, and there wasn't any girls that they were not into it. They could not stand the screaming, "This is devil music," and blah blah blah, all that typical things that people say. Mm-hmm. But long story short, then I found this little one here, and she said she wanted heavy something. Yeah.
Well, you asked if what I listened to. That was like a check mark for him, like must listen to metal. And I was like, we met on a dating app, so it was like in his bio, like something about metal music, and I was like, oh, sick, like hopefully good, because like there's a lot of bands. I'm particular about what, like, I was never into like Bullet for My Valentine, or I wasn't into Trivium, and like I fell away from it because there was nothing really that like grabbed me. So once we met, you were like, okay, well, let's try this, and he sent me the very first Parkway Drive song, which was a Deathless song.
Yes. And I was kind of like, wanted to kind of feel her. I didn't want to scare her away. So I did something like a love song, but like had like his voice in it. It showed his really like deep, scream.
Yeah, and I was like, whoa, what is this? Like I loved his voice. I loved everything. And I could tell like there was more heaviness to the band. And I was like, I want more. So he suggested that I listen to all of their albums from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, that was almost 7 years ago, so their album that was out at the time was Ire.
Yes.
And so I started from the beginning, and it was an early morning, so like 5 a.m. wake up, I'm getting ready for work, and I listened to everything, and I was like, oh fuck, like obsessed. Immediately.
And at this time, I was kind of like, not over Parkway, but I was just listening to other bands, trying to find other stuff. And
you had been listening to them, so it was like not new for you.
Yeah, but she got me back listening to them again, because when someone else likes it, like when she likes it, makes me re-like it and look at it differently. And also, too, I was looking for even heavier stuff. And that's when we found out about deathcore. Started listening to I was listening to The Idols Murder. I knew who they were, but we started listening to A Night in Texas. A lot of different like Version's Crown. Just started getting into a lot of different bands that were like heavier.
And I always wanted that. I always wanted something heavier. Give me heavy, heavy, heavy.
Yes. There's like certain heavy that's like but there's like good heavy.
Yeah.
And then Loner Shore, all those bands. I was listening to Loner Shore for a while when they had Tom Barber, and then they had CJ. And I just remember we were just kind of going back and forth, showing each other, hey, listen to this, and you like this, and we were going kind of back, still listening to other bands too, like Miss May I and
Miss May I, yeah.
All the metal bands that we were listening to. Bury Tomorrow. I remember showing you Bury Tomorrow.
I went through a Bury Tomorrow phase for sure, where I was like, oh, like I couldn't decide who was my favorite band.
Yeah, and as time went on, we was listening to new songs coming out. We started watching reaction videos. Alex Hefner.
Architects came out too.
Yes, Architects.
Into our lives.
Yes.
They didn't come out. They came into our lives.
Yeah, Architects.
And that was like, love them too.
Yeah. And we were watching people react to these songs. Alex Hefner was a big one. Mel Burm was another big one. Matt and Chelsea. There was just a lot of different, we're like, dude, this is so cool. We should do this. And just never did it. And
we've had so much going on, though.
Yeah, but we'd always... Yeah. And we'd always watch videos, like, I always want to see what your reactions were to songs. Oh,
yeah. We love watching YouTube reaction videos.
Yeah, of people. And we always are I'm always on it with songs that are coming out. So we're always watching... found Eminence. Oh my God.
Eminence is another
Oh.
fantastic band.
A lot of bands we
Like,
found through reaction channels too.
Mhm.
Reaction channels are good for bands, I think. So,
Mhm.
and yeah, we just, been sharing music together and
Binging music together.
binging music, and
Did we talk about Lorna Shore?
then obviously Lona Shore when Will came into the band. Oh my goodness.
I listened to his previous band that he was in
Yes.
before he got into Lorna Shore. So I already knew about him and I liked him a lot as a vocalist. And when he left that band, I was so sad. I was like, I can't even listen to this anymore.
Yeah.
And then finally, when they announced that he was going to be in Lorna Shore, I was like, oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, to the Hellfire.
Yeah.
Will kicked ass. Like the whole band does. And then the last album, Pain Remains. I think Pain Remains 1, 2, 3 are my favorite songs.
I wish we would have reacted to those.
I know.
Like, bawling.
Yeah, those.
So good.
Well,
So good.
So glad we're doing it now.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of our metal journey, history. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a ride.
It's been a fun ride.
And it's so cool because you love almost everything I love. And
We like very similar music. There
Yes.
isn't anything that I like that you don't, or vice versa.
yeah, there might be some songs I like that you don't, but I mean, it's very, very like slim
Rare.
pickings.
Yeah.
But
You love Shadow of Intent, and I love them too.
I fucking love Shadow. Oh yeah, see that's the thing. We just so many bands. It's hard to think of all the bands, but Shadow of Intent is by far like my top favorite. You know, Lona Shore, Whitechapel. Oh my God, there's just so many.
There's so many. Good
There's so
ones.
many in different genres. Like I love Eminence. I love Architect.
Yeah,
I love all the
there's
bands.
There's a range for sure.
Yeah, and there's times when I want deathcore crazy stuff, and sometimes I want this or some. You know what I mean? That's why I love having
The variety.
variety. So yeah, that's basically a shortened version of our lives with metal.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for this year. I know a lot of good stuff's gonna come out, and I'm excited that we get to react to it together.
Yeah.
Super excited.
Yeah.
And
It's gonna be fun.
and I'm glad you guys are joining us, and we appreciate it.
Yep.
So, anyways, that's all I have to say.
Yep.
Alrighty.
We'll see you guys.
See you guys.